I'm gonna go ahead and call Morris County Fiscal Court to order, November 6th, 9:30, 2018. We have Commissioner Gold on the phone, him and his grandchild. I think Commissioner Gold is in Utah. Is that correct? No answer. Okay. At this point, Commissioner Gold obviously does not constitute a quorum because he's on the phone. Commissioners Bolin, I know Commissioner Bolin stated late afternoon yesterday he was not going to attend the day. I was very disappointed in that. I'll get to that in a minute. But Commissioner Koch, I have not been advised why he's not here. So at this point, we do not have a quorum. As far as Commissioner Bolin, he stated that he was campaigning, got behind on work, and he had to put in a hot water heater today. And we've got a lot of items on the agenda, and I think professionally this is the most embarrassing fiscal court meeting I've attended. So those that are here today, there may be some discussion that we can have, but we can't take any action. So why don't we just go ahead and make the best of it? I see Rivercrest here. Chad, do you want to give us an update? I don't know where those folks are at.
Give a report on the sewer expansion project going on there in Draftonville. Again, as y'all can see, driving up and down 641, construction has continued over the last month or so since I was here last. Contractor is working on several of the lines for the sewer project right now, which is a good thing this time of year. Based on the weather, depending on being wet or dry, they can go on a number of different alignments throughout the project. And as per the report that we submitted this month, that they're working on about 5 different lines right now. Actually today they're working on alignment that's going to get them across Highway 641 just on the north side of the school property, and they're behind King Brothers, and they're going to be working on that line segment as well as some more sewer lines along the Billy Watkins Road area of the project. It's my understanding in talking with the contractor, they have ordered the materials for the high school sewer extension portion of the project, and as soon as those materials arrive on site, probably next week, they will gear up to do that construction as the weather permits, basically attacking that during the drier days that they have on the construction of the project. So everything's moving forward from a timing standpoint, and is our opinion, everything's moving on schedule, and everything has been going very well on the project. So no bad news to report on that project. Everything's been going very well. We're into the end of the 3rd month on the project. That was part of the agenda today to discuss that 3rd pay request, but everything is going very well on the project, and like to see things continue to do so through the winter months. Hopefully get a break on the weather and everything keep rolling. Would you like to talk about Southwest 1 a little bit while I'm up here, just to give a status report on the meeting we had? Okay. Late last week on Thursday, we had a meeting in regards to the Southwest 1 industrial development. I noticed that's a little further down the agenda, but we had a utility coordination meeting. It was very well attended. I was very pleased with the attendance at the meeting. We had representatives of both the water and sewer from the city of Benton, and the gas company of the city of Benton were in attendance. We had folks from AT&T branch offices there. We also had folks from West Kentucky Rural Electric. They were in attendance in the meeting, as well as the judge. The city of Benton had some representatives there. The IDA board, Mr. Dennis Smith, Josh Tubbs, and I'm probably forgetting a couple others. They were there, but a very well attended meeting, very good sharing of information, and it sounds like everybody's in one accord moving forward to extend utilities to that development and working on the site development portion of that project with BFW engineers.
I want to applaud you. I know I've sat in many mission briefs, and having everybody at the table moving forward on a large expansion like this, and that everybody understands their role and their place and where they're coming in. It's all coordinated. and I applaud the effort to maintain accountability of that. So I enjoyed actually sitting in that meeting and listening to the conversation and what was discussed. So I just want to let you know that.
Very good meeting. Had a lot of good help. Other than that, we're moving forward. As mentioned in the utility coordination meeting, some of the property owners have already been notified, and our survey efforts are going to begin here within the next week or so on the project, continuing on.
Okay.
We'll have more to come on that.
Appreciate it. Bob, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good. I'm getting most of this.
Okay. I don't think
No
we
other
got
questions?
anything else. Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate your work, Chad. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you.
Personnel changes, is that something that we can read? Okay. Do you want to read that? You got a copy of that? Yeah, I give you this one.
Personnel changes effective 11/6/18. Andrew Lovett, new full-time deputy jailer, hired 8/9/2018 at $12 per hour. Jason Young, new full-time school resource officer, hired 8/7/18, $22.23 per hour. Carrie Henley, new full-time school resource officer, hired 8/7/18, $22.23 per hour. Stephen Robinson, new full-time school resource officer, hired 8/7/18, $22.23 per hour. Kevin Mile increased rank pay from $115 per hour to $150 per hour. Jeff Daniel added rank pay $115 per hour. Rebecca Hicks terminated 8/1/18, voluntary resignation. Scott Brown terminated 8/15/18, voluntary resignation. JT Coleman, wage increased from $18.38 to $22.23, school resource officer, effective 8/7/18. Michael Edwards, new part-time court security, hired 8/21/18 at $9 an hour. Elizabeth Cosner, new full-time deputy clerk, hired 8/20/18 at $11.50 per hour. Miranda Hanson, wage increased from $12.51 to $15.75 per hour per LaDonna Correll. Philip Madison, wage increased from $13.12 to $15.25 per hour per LaDonna Correll. Vincent Terrell, wage increased from $12.84 to $13.75 per hour per LaDonna Correll. Beth Street terminated 8/31/18, voluntary resignation. Brett Edwards terminated 8/31/18, retirement. And then September 2018 changes. Matt Calhoun, wage increased from $19.38 to $21.13, effective 9/10/18, supervisor. Dennis Faust, voluntary leave without pay, effective 9/1/18. Chad Ford, wage increased from $17.36 to $18.07 per hour, effective 9/1/18, pay schedule raise. Logan Barrow, new part-time court security, hired 9/4/18 at $9 per hour.
The next item on the correspondence, this is the coroner's resignation. Please allow this to serve as my official resignation to the Marshall County Coroner's Office. It's been a struggle at times, but I have found it to be a rewarding experience. I feel like the office is in better shape than it was when I took over. I'm willing to help the newly elected coroner any way I can. I will offer that to them after the election. Please allow this to be effective October 31st at midnight. With the resignation of the coroner and the election tonight, whoever wins the election tonight, I plan to just appoint that individual tomorrow. So whoever wins, I'll contact them, and we'll just make that appointment tomorrow official. I've yet to get an official letter from the jailer, but speaking with the jailer, he has stated that he is retiring, so I'm still waiting on an official letter. If that's the case, the same would apply tomorrow, but I've yet to receive an official letter. So, under old business, we can't approve the minutes. Ordinance 2018-12, industrial building revenue refunding bonds. Do you want to discuss that, Jeff?
Which was that? Oh, okay, the bond. Well, we are prepared here today to have the second reading for this and conduct a public hearing in regard to this matter. Obviously, without a quorum, that cannot occur, and I think we have a representative here that may be able to expound on the seriousness of this incident.
Do you want to go ahead and come up and state your name, please? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Dan Talcott. I'm the Director of Business Management at Crossings Ministries, which runs Jonathan Creek Camp and Conference Center. And we were very excited about these revenue bonds, and I will take this opportunity to thank you very much for the work that you all have done and helped us with, and the way that this community supports our organization. It's a pleasure to be in your backyard, and we're thankful. Yeah, we were hoping to have these approved today, so I'm not sure what the implications are. I just texted the attorney to find out what the, I don't want to speak too soon on what the other options are.
I did have a question, and we can discuss that offline. Obviously, we're not going to be able to take action today, but that is one of my questions, is the implications and what the next step is. I will say that my daughter did attend summer camp, and she loved it. She wants to go back, so it's a great facility, and we are appreciative to have it in our backyard.
Good. Are there any other questions regarding the bonds that I could answer while I'm here?
Not for me. Bob, do you got any questions?
No,
Do you got anything
Well,
from a legal standpoint that you want to?
from a scheduling, are you familiar enough with this, with the situation to tell us how and when we could salvage this?
I don't understand the legality of it enough. I mean, we're set to close 2 weeks from today, and I think there's supposed to be a 2-week notice before the hearing or the reading.
Right.
Yes.
So, but could we potentially have a hearing? Because the hearing doesn't have to have a quorum, so I think we could have a hearing.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest. We can't do the second reading, but
We can
let's
do
go
the
through jump through the hoops and have a public hearing. And so that the proof from that public hearing will be on the record. And possibly I think that if it's on the record, the commissioners then can review that.
I think that's right, and then we just
Yeah.
need to have a second
So-
hearing at some point in the next 2 weeks if possible.
And that way we can salvage it, I do believe.
I agree.
And that the public hearing is set for 10, I
Right.
believe, so we would have to wait till 10, but
Okay.
And
do
then,
that.
I guess when the call for those in support, you would be one of the ones to speak. All right.
thank you.
So don't say any more because we don't want to hear it twice.
Under new business, item A, loan agreement, Kentucky Baptist Assemblies, we'll get into that. Bond purchase agreement, Kentucky Assemblies, ABC quarterly report. You want to give that report, Brad?
Sure. This is quarterly report from July 1, 2018 through September 30th, 2018. We had 47 establishments reporting for a total regulatory report of $82,353.35. That is down about $5,000 from the previous quarter.
Next, under new business, under D, deeds, Victor Darnell Road. Do you want to discuss that? D, the deeds, Victor Darnell Road.
Oh. It's the, I don't remember it. Oh, this, yeah. On Victor Darnell Road, these are deeds to create a turnaround, exchange deeds with the county so that we could create a turnaround.
And that requires my signature.
Yes.
The landowners agreed to it. It just needs the approval of the fiscal court for me to sign that.
Yes.
So that'll be, obviously, we can't do that today. The other item under new business, item E, vacant lot, and I think that's the Benton City vacant lot. Did we get,
I think that one that's the one out in Gilbertsville.
okay,
So I talked to the neighbor, and he was willing to pay the taxes. And then I think there's like a $4,900 lien on
Lien
the
on it.
property. He was willing to pay $15,000 to that. I'm sorry, $1,500. And then I was going to present that to commissioners for them to approve that, and they could release that lien, and then he could go forward with the property owner to acquire it. But
it's another item, action item. We've got several action items on it. Yeah.
it's just the one.
Yes. We just released that one lot, because the lien covers more than one lot.
Oh, it does. Okay, I wasn't aware that. Yeah, it's just the one lot. So, but they'd still have to approve to release it, right? Okay, so we can discuss that option as well.
New business item F, the road petition for Obe Road. That was submitted. My opinion on the petition, there is opposition to the gentleman that's wanting to take the Obe Road out of the county maintenance system. And with that opposition, of course, it's my opinion, I don't think we need to follow through with the road petition because there's two separate parties that are, obviously he's wanting to take it out, and there's other parties that do not want to take it out. So from the court standpoint, I don't know what the court needs to do, but
Well, I think the court would have to decide whether to proceed one way or the other on that.
so is that an action item?
Yes.
All right, so Bob, did you want to mention anything on that?
No, I just know there's certainly opposition, and table that to have a quorum. I don't see that petition being valid without all the other signatures.
Okay. Under new business, under G, library board appointment. Obviously, I can make the appointment, but it takes fiscal court's approval. Since the term of Barbara Sloan of Morris County Public Library Board of Trustees expired on October 14th of this year, we hereby submit the following names for consideration to fill in the vacancy for a new 4-year term. So with that term expiring, my recommendation would be Alan Jones. That's another action item, so I guess we'll table that. Cemetery board appointment.
Well, you can't even table it. It's just
No action, yeah. This is the Marsh County Cemetery Board. Dear Judge Neal, Mrs. Linda Woodward, a member of the Cemetery Board, has experienced some health and has asked to resign from the board. I tentatively accepted on her behalf. Now, of course, we need a replacement. So Ms. Woodward has resigned from her term. So we need to reappoint or appoint someone to fill out her current term. No, that's not an action item, so. We'll have that on for the next agenda. My appointment for that position will be Don Howard, or Howe. So we'll just present that on next agenda. Ordinance 2018-15, budget amendment, first reading. I believe that's something that we can do.
Yeah,
First
you can
reading.
do first reading.
Ordinance 2018-15, an ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas the County of Marshall has received additional funds, now be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marshall County that, Section 1, the annual budget for fiscal year 2018-19 is amended to increase revenue accounts for the KIA Marshall County Sanitation District 2 expansion loan, and also increase the expenditure account, KIA Marshall County Sanitation District 2 expansion loan, by $3,066,988. The amounts added to the revenue and expenditure accounts in Section 1 are for governmental purposes. That's the first reading.
Can we go into the public hearing, Judge?
Yeah. I've got a question. How do we take a motion to recess out of?
Since your hearing is set during the time of the, you've never opened this meeting. So what I would do is just finish your last few business items and go right into the, because as far as the public notice and everything, everybody's here. And, I mean, this court's not in session anyway.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, that's a guess because I've never been in this situation in my entire 30 years of practicing law.
I'm going to finish these items here and make my comment about it. But under item new business J, drawdown request for the sanitation expansion, that takes a motion, which we don't have a quorum. Treasurer's report takes a motion. We don't have a quorum. Intra-fund transfer, same. Appropriations transfer, same. Payment of the bills, we can't even pay our bills. Executive session on litigation. We spent the hours that the staff has spent preparing, and this is a regular scheduled meeting. These meetings have been approved by the fiscal court, even the ones who are absent. And this is a regular meeting. All the bills, everything that has been prepared is going to have to be voided. All the hours that has been spent in preparation for today's events is basically going to be voided. It's been just an absolute waste of time. Professionally, I agree this is about the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen for a fiscal court. And it really, it's embarrassing. as a county government. And I don't take it too light. I think it's a serious matter. No explanation of why one commissioner is not even here, and the other one, they are getting paid. The taxpayers are paying them, and they're not even here to represent and do their due diligence as far as their duties. In the private sector, you'd be fired. And it's an absolute embarrassment, but that's all I've got to say about that. With that, we'll go into, we'll call the public hearing to order. And the public hearing that is scheduled at 10 on the revenue bonds. Is there anybody for the revenue bonds? You're my first one. I've had several public meetings, and you're my first one, sir. Come on up.
Well, I just want to say again, thank you, and we seek to serve and support what you all are doing in the community and your churches and your groups. We serve not just churches, but other organizations that come and use our facilities. We'll have over 7,000 to 8,000 this summer, and then another 3,000 to 4,000 outside of the summer. And if there's anything we could do to serve you all, please let us know. But we really enjoy it, and that's all I got.
I've got some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is an extension of the bonds we've already had in place, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And is it additional monies or just a refinance?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's strictly a refinance. We've been paying down the debt just as we had planned. We haven't missed a payment, and this is just following the original amortization of the debt.
And isn't it true that because of the way you've handled it, that you're in this situation? You haven't fallen behind. There have been no issues in regard to these bonds.
That's absolutely correct. We had always had a balloon payment. We had always intended to refinance at this time, and in fact, this one has a balloon payment in 7 years, and if we pay on schedule, we'll be refinancing in 7 years as well.
And I guess the golden star on this is that you've done so well that the bank, U.S. Bank, who you're using to finance, is agreeing to go ahead and purchase the bonds.
That's right.
So they're loaning you the money and purchasing the bonds, so, which is not very common.
They've got all the risk. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. We've got a very good relationship with.
I think
US Bank.
that covers what I wanted covered on the record.
I want to personally apologize that we couldn't take action today, but it is what it is.
Yep.
I will make sure that we get a special call meeting so that we can take action on this before the 14th.
Sounds great.
Thank you, sir.
For purposes of this record, state your name again.
It's Dan Talcott,
And,
I'm the Director of Business Management at Kentucky Baptist Assemblies.
okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Are there anybody against?
Call
there-
3 times for 4.
Oh,
And then-
4, okay. Are there anybody for? Are there anybody for? That should be
That's 3.
Are there anybody against? Are there anybody against? I think it's 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, having done that, when are you going to have the second reading?
It sounds like I'm gonna have to get back with Dan and,
Yeah, and you can call that as a special meeting. I mean, even if you don't announce it here, then if you call it, you have jumped through the notice requirements for that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've got to find out when everybody's gonna be available. There was one other item, the resignation. They just, Roger just got it sent up to me, so I'll go ahead and read this. After much prayer and many long discussions with my wife, I have made the decision to retire from the office of jailer effective November 1st, 2018. As many of you know, I am on the ballot for November 6, 2018, and if elected, I plan to return to the office of jailer on January 1st, 2019. The reason for this decision is the uncertainty in our state's retirement system. I've been paying into this system for 26 years and 7 months. A pension is a promise, and that is a serious and important promise. Even more important than the promise the state made me 26 years ago is a promise I made to my wife and family, which was to work hard and secure our future. I simply cannot gamble on breaking that promise. I'm 55 years old and not ready to quit working. My heart has always been dedicated to the service of my community and to my position as jailer. It is a position that I have been honored to perform and have attempted to do my very best to represent our community with honesty, integrity, and commitment. It is my hope to continue to do so. For those that are wondering, no, I will not be building another retirement, simply securing the one I have. The decision will not cost the citizens and taxpayers of our community. I thank all of you for your tremendous support over the years past and the years yet to come. Sincerely, Roger Ford, jailer, Marshall County Detention Center. So that is the official letter of retirement. And as stated, tomorrow I'll be appointing the coroner, and I'll be appointing the jailer as well, a new jailer. For 2 months, I think it's till January. Is there any other questions? There's no other items for action that we can take. Bob, do you got anything?
No, sir. I'm good.
Okay.